Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Tasneem Hamid, and I'm part of the talent acquisition team in Old Mutual Personal Finance. We are live today in Cape Town, Mutual Park, Pinelands, and I'm thrilled to host you as we explore the exciting career of a financial advisor. As we delve into the role of a financial advisor, we aim to provide you with a clear understanding of this dynamic and rewarding career. At the end of the session, we hope that you have the insights needed to make an informed decision on whether this career is right for you. Throughout the webinar, you will find a QR code. Feel free to scan it at any time, as it will take you directly to our recruitment platform where you can apply for opportunities that aligns with your career aspirations. We are seeking experienced financial advisors that is accredited within the industry. Or if you're looking to change your careers, we have an opportunity available to you, enable for you to become an experienced financial advisor. We also do have opportunities available if you are comfortable in your current role, where you can do this on a part-time basis. Our personal finance business segment is one of the oldest distribution channels in Old Mutual. And as Old Mutual celebrates a 179-year legacy, we are really here to capture the stories behind our employees. And with me today is our beautiful panel from personal finance. And before we ask them to share their stories, I would like to ask them to introduce themselves.
Thanks, Tasneem. So, hi everyone. I'm Craig Govender. I used to be a heavyweight in the hospitality industry. At one stage, I thought that is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life because I was really good at what I'd done. Until times have changed, and now I'm working almost a decade at Old Mutual. And I think that one of the reasons why I joined Old Mutual is because, coming from the hospitality industry, you can totally lose control of your life because, you work open-close shifts. There's no specific roster, no specific time frame, and it's just you're always tired because you're always working. Nevertheless, I was presented with an opportunity that I met someone in England, and when I came back down to South Africa, I started having conversations about being a financial advisor. And, taking the risk, today I face the reward. I went through every single trial and tribulations from the time I started with Academy, exposed to risk as well. But nevertheless, I think because of my strengths and my character, I persevered. And today I'm really proud of myself, leaving something you're good at. It's like Ronaldo does not know how good he could be in playing cricket, but because he hasn't tried. Okay, so he continues his fame in soccer. So at some point I said, what, let me not be Ronaldo, let me be Craig. And I left the hospitality industry and I joined Old Mutual, taking a chance. And today I'm here, speaking to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bianca. I was born in PE. I started my career at Old Mutual in Madiba Bay as an academy advisor after I was retrenched in the motor industry. So we relocated in Cape Town in 2021, joined Fasicha's team as an EFA advisor. Ever since then, I didn't look back. I fell in love with the career, and I'm passionate about this career and helping my clients. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Fasicha Adams and I'm a worksite business manager in the Cape region. I actually studied IT and worked in that field until I also was retrenched. 23 years ago, my journey started at Old Mutual head office. I took calls from clients and advisors and I helped them with their queries and their claims. And an opportunity presented itself to me to become a financial advisor. As I worked hard to meet as many clients as I could, started my day at 6 o'clock in the morning, saw my first client at 8 o'clock, saw at least 5 clients a day, worked weekends, worked late hours, went into all different areas of Cape Town. My manager actually recognized my work. And he asked me to find more advisors like myself. I then found about 18 to 20 of advisors that can do exactly what I did. And I trained them, coached them, mentored them, and Today, they are successful top advisors. Some of them are entrepreneurs themselves as well. And I've continued to just source and look for advisors, such as advisors sitting here right now. And I found my purpose like that. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Tasneem. My name is Enrico Low. I'm a senior financial planner at Personal Finance at Old Mutual. I've been in the industry for about 13 years. Prior to that, I was in the mining industry that I was retrenched from. And during my time of trying to find something, I actually never wanted to be in the industry. I think the industry chose me. And a relative of mine said, well, why don't you join me at this company? And I agreed. I didn't enjoy it. But as I progressed in my career, did I start to find my passion. And it's been 13 years later, and I'm still here. The only regret that I have is that I didn't start here sooner.
Good day, everyone. My name is Bianca Bues. I'm a financial advisor for Old Mutual for just over 2 years. My career at Old Mutual started like a little bit of a roller coaster. I was on my way to my previous workplace, and I was extremely unhappy. And I also studied with my degree in psychology. And while driving in my car, I actually said, just give me a sign if I should resign and there's another way for me. And while making my turn, another car came out of nowhere and actually turned my car all around. When I looked up from my steering wheel, I saw a sign of Old Mutual and immediately knew this is my new job. So when my manager came to my car, we had a very good relationship, but I immediately said, I'm resigning. There's a new way for me. While on my way to hospital, I said to my neurosurgeon, just wait, I need to apply for a job at Old Mutual. So that's exactly what I did. So coming into Old Mutual, I had zero experience. I just had a way of looking for signs. And now I didn't just sign up for a company, I signed up for a new family as well.
Thank you all, and thank you for joining us. So let's get started. Enrico, we often hear about the entrepreneurial spirit fostered at Old Mutual. Can you tell us what this means to you and how you found your purpose in this financial advice industry?
Yeah, thank you, Tasneem. So I, sort of applied the principles of, what it means to be an entrepreneur, being able to adapt to different environments or changes in the industry. And as we all know, there's so many changes that takes place in this environment. So being resilient as well through those changes, is what really appealed to me. But through my journey, was I able to engage customers, identify and clarify and understand what their goals and objectives are, and apply the principles of financial planning to those particular circumstances. And over time, were we able to identify and see how those principles have added value to customers' lives. And through that process, am I learning what my purpose in this role is.
And then Bianca, we all know how much your clients means to you. As a financial advisor, you wear many hats. How do you think your clients would best describe you?
Absolutely, Tasneem. Thank you for the question. So my clients means the world to me. They really do. And like you said, a small part of your day, actually you are doing the role of a financial advisor. Mostly you're also doing the role of a carer, a teacher, lawyer some instances, and also a psychologist or a counselor. You need to be there for your clients. It's not just about selling a policy. You need to build a relationship with your clients and be willing to walk that road with them, not just physically, but also emotionally with the ups and the downs of each and every client.
Okay, perfect. And then Vuvu, what does this career mean to you and your family?
All right, thank you, Tess, for that question. For me as a mother and a wife, this career means that I need to be on my feet. I need to educate my clients, and I also need to educate my children about financial education, you know. So they need to be aware of their finances, because that's not how we grew up, you know. So for me, it means a lot that at least I know that they will have a foundation to carry on even when I'm no longer there. At least I know that they will have a solid foundation, you know. For my clients, it means a lot waking up every day knowing that I'll make a difference in someone else's life. That for me is fulfilling. And I know that when I see one client, it's not like I'm seeing that client only. Also, I'm taking care of their families, you know, because that client might be a wife. I'm taking care of their children as well, even though they are not sitting in front of me, you know. So it means a lot that I am able to take care of so many families by seeing even one person in front of me, knowing that, okay, I'm taking care of their families as well.
Of course. Of course. And then Fika, for someone who is looking to pursue a career within Old Mutual, what are some of the benefits that you have received as an employee with Old Mutual?
Well, Tasneem, I think that list of benefits is endless. But doing my research and comparisons to benefits out there, I think our employee benefits is definitely one of the best in the industry. Just to name a few, our employee group life cover and pension fund benefits, we are allowed to top it up to suit our needs and to make sure that we are future fit for when we retire. We are able to add specific family members onto our cover so that we can have peace of mind that if anything happens to us during service, that our families are well taken care of. Our medical aid benefits is personalized where, you know, it suits your needs. And, you know, there are benefits entrenched in that where we can actually have annual checks free of charge so that we can prevent future illnesses. I think we've got a world-class employee well-being program where we've partnered with Lyra and ICAS, and you know, those consultants and assistance on the other side is just a click of a button away, and they're available 24/7. You know, we have traumatic events that, and our family members have access to them. In a traumatic event in our lives, we can just call a counselor at any time to help us with any stress or depression-related issues, even physical health, legal assistance. All of that is available. And just lastly, a personal story is that I actually had with our new home loans from Old Mutual that was launched. We actually switched our bonds and we got amazing service, and we can use the kickback on in terms of our Old Mutual rewards to actually pay for our bond cover in that instance. Yeah.
Wow,
If
thank
I
you,
can-
Fika.
You know,
I'm sorry, Craig, if I can just add to that also, maybe some of the more tangible benefits.
Yeah.
You know, I think if you are based at Mutual Park, for example, we have access to a fully equipped gym, you know, for the health conscious individuals.
Yeah.
We have a swimming pool. You know, for someone who likes to eat, we have a mall with many restaurants. You know, we have, you know, so, you know, those are the kind of things that really appeals to people who want to be able to work and still enjoy all the other benefits that comes with your employment.
Perfect. Okay, and then Craig, Old Mutual has embarked on many corporate social initiatives. How have you seen this impact the communities that you are part of?
okay, so you see, as a financial advisor, we're always working external, and that's out of the office, you know. We have the flexibility to drive around, go see clients, go see customers, go to different areas and meet new people, diverse cultures out there. And one of the most, you know, famous thing that I hear out there is that, guess what, you know, Old Mutual has been painting our school last week. You guys helped us do fundraising for people who have multiple sclerosis. You have people who have all these illnesses, and Old Mutual's involved in the less fortunate, you know, non-profitable organizations. And that's just embedded, you know, Old Mutual's name so strong out there. And it makes it easier for us to communicate with someone if they already like a brand. And that's what makes it easy for me to walk out there and meet people, because the brand has posted its name with all the social work that it does out there.
Wow.
Tasneem, just to add on what Craig is saying, we recognize that in the communities out there, there are crises, and as part of our corporate social responsibility, we've actually come up with many initiatives like the financial education to communities out there. It is freely available for us to just go out and educate people so that they can make better decisions with their finances. We also got scholarships and bursaries to students who have potential and, they can't afford the further education. We've partnered with our disaster relief management, and during the level 8 storms in Cape Town, we handed out thousands and thousands of warm fuzzy blankets out there to those who were affected. And we've got our green initiatives as well, where we're trying to reduce the carbon footprint and, energy saving and water saving initiatives. So there are many, many more that we can speak about. Yes.
And on that note, Enrico, can you give us an example of where you helped allow a client to achieve their financial goal, and how did that make you feel?
Thank you, Tasneem. The two examples that come to mind, the first was a client who I did a review for a number of years ago, and I'd identified a gap in the client's portfolio where the client did not have any severe illness cover. And I asked her, why is it that you have everything else addressed, but you don't have this particular need? And her response to me was, well, there isn't any history in my family of severe illnesses. And I then spoke through, our recent stats that we also are provided with from time to time. And there is an increase in not only men, but women as well who suffer from severe illness. And I encouraged her to then pursue the solution. She reluctantly agreed. And I think it must have been 2 years later when she called me and said that, a doctor had confirmed that she had contracted cancer. And what should I do? And I said that, let's submit the paperwork. And I think it was about 3 weeks later that the claims team got back to me and said that we're going to honor a claim. I sat her down around the table. I didn't want to, relay this information to her over the phone. And, just being able to verbalize this reality of being able to successfully, honor this claim was quite an emotional one, because I realized that this is the value that we bring to our customers. It did make me a little bit teary-eyed as well, because, to be able to see this, is really something. And then the second example is I had a client who had for many years had a credit card that serviced, the emergency expenses. And I spoke about, why don't we pursue an investment that gives you accessibility to your funds? There aren't any restrictions. And the benefit of doing this, as opposed to having a credit card, is that when you use a credit card, you pay back more than you used. So I use those practical examples. And similarly, a year of having implemented the solution, this client then was able to use her emergency fund to address a need. And then she said to me, Enrico, I don't know why I haven't done this sooner. So that really brought purpose to my role as a financial planner and the value that we bring to our customers.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you, Enrico.
Yeah, Tess, sorry,
Sure.
to add on to what Enrico was saying. Recently, I think last week, as an advisor, I was working at the branch. You get to meet different clients. There was this one lady that came into the branch. So she was looking for her portfolio. So when I was looking at her portfolio, I saw that she's got a benefit that is paying her premium. So she was telling me her story as to what happened to her. So she said to me that, Vovo, I took this benefit not knowing that I would ever get disabled. As young as I am, right now I cannot sit for more than an hour, So when I look at her portfolio, Old Mutual is paying her premium because of the disability. So she said to me, Old Mutual also paid me a lump sum of 650,000. And I was like, wow, really? So she was like, these stories, they are there, they happen, and it happens when you at least expect it. So she was saying to me, even now, if I'm telling people to take, living benefits, don't only take funeral covers, because you might not be dead, you might need money while you're still alive. So that was like a wake-up call for me as well, that even when you're young, these things happen. Yeah.
And you were able to educate
Exactly.
your clients.
If I may add to what Bubu and Enrico was also saying, Old Mutual's not only about wealth protection, there's also wealth creation. And while preparing for those uncertain times with severe illness and disability cover, we also need to prepare for the future. So while preparing for a meeting last week, my phone was ringing, and it was the daughter of one of my clients telling me that she was accepted for university, knowing that there was preparations for funds to make sure that she can go to university. And again, that just makes the whole career worth it, of knowing that which impact you make to your clients' lives.
Wow, full circle, eh? And while we're on that, Bianca, how do you maintain work-life balance as a financial advisor with Old Mutual?
So I do believe that is a very, very important point to make, as there is a saying, you can't fill a cup from an empty cup. As we know, advisors, there isn't office hours from 8 to 5. It is a full-time job. There will be clients that will be needing you after hours as well. But it is important to have ways to actually just shut down, encourage hobbies or something that you also enjoy, to make sure that you can recharge and be that advisor, be that person that wears several hats for your clients the next day, to be able to actually fulfill that role. And when I just started Old Mutual, I was about 3 months in the career. My husband got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and it was such a big challenge. But Old Mutual provided me a way to actually be there for these treatments while being there for my clients, to being able to work from anywhere and also flexible hours. So that makes work-life balance much easier.
Yeah. So with that, like the flexibility, with this career, as a mom, as I said to you, that I've got 2 boys, with the activities at school, it goes crazy within a week. So with this career, at least I know that I'm able to be flexible, to be where they have their activities and also work at the same time, so it allows me to be flexible, be there for my children, and also be there for my clients, so that the flexibility also allows us to work any way you want to work.
Okay, perfect. Okay, Enrico, can you tell us about the support that Old Mutual has and continues to offer you through your journey as a financial advisor?
Yeah, that's a good question. So not to blow my own horn, but as financial advisors, there's a wealth of knowledge that we bring to discussions with clients, in order to fulfill their financial goals. But what we bring to clients is not something that we do by ourselves. So depending on the complexities of a client's portfolio or a particular scenario, we have the aid of support specialists. So we have access to legal advisors who can unpack certain technical scenarios or issues in a client's portfolio. Or if we need to compare a certain solution with something else in the market, we have product specialists who are able to assist us in that scenario. And, depending on the extent of long-term planning, for retirement or investments, we also have access to investment and fund specialists. So the support that comes with our discussion to clients is, I would say, second to none. We really can't compare that to anything else.
Yeah. Just to add on, with the support that we have as advisors, for me, emotional support as well is very important. Just to tap into into my personal life, So I was hospitalized in January up until in June. So it has been 6 months that I was out of work. But the emotional support that I got from my manager, Fasicha, thanks to her, and Doug, it can be challenging to get up on your feet again in this industry. I'm sure Craig can agree to that. But with that emotional support, I was able to get on my feet very quick. So without that emotional support, I don't think I would be here today. So I'm grateful for that.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so Enrico, Old Mutual's group strategy is built on writing Africa's story together. How are you writing your next chapter?
If I look at what Old Mutual's legacy is, having been in the industry, a leader in the industry for almost 180 years, I think what we do in terms of our vocation and the value that we bring to customers, changing their lives, changing the trajectory of clients' lives, is adding to that value. So I think the more customers that we can come into contact with every day, every month, every year, is going to add to the longevity of that legacy.
Yeah, and I'd also like to add something there. If you look at in Africa itself, the old generation, and I'm speaking about our parents and our parents' parents, they never knew what it's like to have a retirement in place or have, a funeral policy in place. So I think one of the most important things Africa needs is that where we're starting with the pensioners and working ourselves down, but giving the proper advice, we don't get to give our kids to live what we've been through, so our kids get to live a more brighter future because we are educating Africa.
Just to tell a little bit story about what Craig is saying about the older generation, I still remember even today when I started at Old Mutual 2019, when I told my mom that I was interviewed at Old Mutual, and she was like, "Yo," so I was like, "Okay, yeah, mom." So I didn't want to interject deep into the conversation. But right now, she's an advocate of my business. She tells my family, this is what my daughter does. This is what my daughter has been doing at her job, Even recently, what I have achieved as a financial advisor, getting an award in 51 Club last week in Sun City, it was like a real proof to them that this is the career that I have chosen, or rather chose me, because when I started, I didn't know that I was going to be a financial advisor. I was like, okay, it's just another job, So right now, she's my #1 fan. Everything that has to do with money, she calls me, and I will be like, "Mom, I'm busy. I'm with the client," And then she will say, "No, listen, your aunt, please call her. She needs something. She needs help." I told her about your job, so yeah.
And Bianca, on that note, I believe you joined the 51 Club Sun City experience. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yes, Tasneem, I recently did. We just came back from Sun City now. It just shows you that hard work within the company really gets rewarded. There is challenges, but we do overcome that with the support, with the tools that is provided. I'm privileged to have 2 amazing managers, Kobus Nel and Fahima Mula, that really helped me take the ropes from the beginning to have confidence when sitting in front of clients. Like I've mentioned before, having no skills except asking for signs, they really helped me. They guide me. They provided me with a safe environment. And they also taught me about how the 51 Club works, and it helped me to push myself to be a better person every day and be there more for our clients. And when we went to Sun City now, we've met incredible advisors and other support staff as well, wanting you to make a bigger change in the lives of our clients. So it was amazing.
Amazing, I can just imagine. What was the theme again?
The next chapter.
The next chapter. And just quickly, a lot of people out there may not understand what Club 51 is. People might think once you turn 51, you belong to this club. but that's not it. I think 51 Club is what drives every academy advisor to reach the established stage. Club 51 from academy starts where it's a process that, have an expectation of a level of business that you need to write on a weekly basis over 11-week period. And as that period goes on, every 11 weeks, you get a new status. you know, and the status can go right up to what, honorable member? Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I was in academy, and I never knew what this was until one day they come and say, top 51 status. So I asked someone to explain to me, and then they did explain to me. And ever since then, you know, I always work following the Club 51 standard. And if you follow the Club 51 standard, you will never go wrong, you'll never fail, you will succeed, because the higher status you go, the more business you get and the bigger your practice becomes, which is an absolute award, which you get to go to Sun City. You know, I also had the opportunity to go to places. I even went to Drakensberg, you know, and when you go for these awards and we've got something called the President's March. So we don't have to sit in Parliament. We just sit at Old Mutual. You have the President March going with everybody who has the president status. And it just, you know, it gives you goosebumps. So all of this just motivates you to be who you want to be, and then you can write the next chapter in your life.
Yeah, and it also helps you to earn as much as you want. There is no ceiling, you know, when it comes to our com structure, you know, your manager cannot say, "Hi, this is too much now, Vuvu."
I will never say that.
You know, and it also helps you to also earn extra, you know, we get quarterly bonuses. So if you use your 51 club correctly, then you will get to tap into other earnings. You know, you don't only earn one time.
Awesome. On that note, Fika, can you talk us through the academy and the experience financial advisor value proposition?
Yes, Tasneem. In my team, I have advisors in various stages of their career. I've got academy advisors who comes with no experience, and we actually link them up with a development coach. And together we train, coach, supervise, co-attend with them for at least 24 months, like in an incubator. And we make sure that that advisor is successful and then moves over to the established advisor model. The established advisors in my team don't only come from the academy space, but they are also external. So we have that opportunity to foster external advisors so that we can train them and get them used to the Old Mutual way of work and the products that we offer. At the same time, we also have a graduate program for graduates who are interested in pursuing a career in financial advice. And we make sure that we put them on the path that suits them best. We've got advisors in the Old Mutual finance branches. We've got advisors on the worksite model who deals with corporate companies. And we've got advisors who joins general practices. I've also got 2 part-time advisors in my team. One of them actually owns her own business and she's got a big network. So what she did was incorporate financial advice into her business as an estate agency, and that helps her, you know, ring-fence her clients. Another advisor who's also part-time doesn't want to leave her current career. She loves what she's doing, but she also has a passion for financial advice. So she kept her job and she is now doing financial advice part-time just to earn an extra income. Yes.
You know, I just want to add something to when you start as an academy advisor. And I think when you start as an academy advisor, like Fika said, you have a development coach, which is a development manager. And that manager, you know, you come in the industry being scared. And a lot of people have the fear of, you know, how do I earn an income? You know, how do I pay for my car? How do I pay for my house? And I think one of the things that you should leave behind when you come to work at Old Mutual as an advisor through that academy stage is that leave fear behind, because that's what's holding you back. And the development managers are there to attend those meetings with you, so you're not going alone. You know, if you have a client who wants to do investment, you have, you know, someone like Francois Schulz, who's one of the investment specialists at Old Mutual. He attends with you. So for each product or each meeting, you know, over the first 6 months, you know, you've got really, really strong backup. And after that, you kind of educated a bit, but you're still willing to take them with if you're not feeling shy. And then by the time your 2 years in academy is over, you've been equipped with knowledge, No, not just from reading books, but from, you know, realism of having the manager sit with you, having the investor sit with you. And I think that whole experience in the academy stage makes you, you know, just want to grow, because it's just so positive, you know. And taking back from where I used to work, you didn't have that support. You know, you was the one who had to give support. And so the support in academy is absolutely great with the system that they have in place, as Fika said.
Wow, that's amazing. Enrico, what advice can you give to anyone that doesn't know anything about this career, but is interested in this field and wants to join the industry?
Show them your bank balance.
Now, I'm not going to do that. So, I mean, if I look at my career, if I reflect, you know, I remember starting in this career, and it was, you know, I mentioned earlier that this is not something that I chose. The biggest regret that I have is that I didn't come into this role earlier, because it's so rewarding. You know, not only is it rewarding from the perspective of, you know, seeing the value that the customers enjoy from your engagement with them, but I mean, as advisors, we also learn from our customer experience. So one of the things that you know really appeals to me is when you have set out a plan for your customer. I remember one time a customer asked me, "So Enrico, how do we measure success?" And I paused for a moment because I didn't quite have the answer. But obviously, your success is measured by what that timeline is. So if you're saving for your for your child's education, that is something that needs to be reviewed regularly. And through that process, are you able to gauge whether we are still hitting this target, or are we going to meet this goal? So, you know, it is, I think initially things can be challenging, as Craig alluded to. You know, you don't always, you aren't able to pay for your car, for example. But as you become more resilient and you build on your successes, I think one also needs to identify what your strengths are, and build on those strengths. So over time, you begin to develop a skill set that you become very confident in, and continue building on that.
Yeah, and also, you know, coming into the industry, you know, not knowing what is expected of you, you know, you just need to be able to be teachable. You know, I came in and I don't know what PFA is all about, but I was teachable, you know. So if you are a person who's teachable, who is willing to learn, you know, and you must also tell yourself that this is not a 9-to-5 job. You know, it's not a job whereby to one place. You know, like an office work. It's not. You know, it's your business. How you conduct your business, it's up to you. You know, if you are going to actually look at another person and copy what they are doing, you know, then this is not for you. You need to be here for yourself. You need to be here for your goals. You need to know what are you driving yourself for, and you need to know your why. Why are you here? Why are you doing this every day? You need to tell yourself, you need to ask yourself, why am I waking up? You know, that should be your drive.
Perfect. And you, Bianca, what advice would you give to someone that, you know, has no experience in this industry?
So when starting at Old Mutual, I always thought that this is a male industry. It's not. We have so many successful female presidents now as well. Yeah, so definitely. And if you are passionate about helping people or creating better futures for your clients and your own family, this is the career to join. You are not just signing up to be part of a company. You're signing up to be part of a family. When looking back at my team at the George, they are not my colleagues. They're part of my family. My days would be dull without the sarcasm and the jokes. But they are also the ones that keep us sane, and also the ones that are filling our cups. So for me, if you're skeptical to join the company, try. What do you have to lose?
Yeah, and just to like top up what she said, you know, in any job that you go to, you need to look at or find something that motivates you. You have to have someone to look up to. So when I was in academy and I started, you know, I've passed that stage. I'm working here just over a decade now. But I recall looking for, you know, who's the top advisors? You know, who's the advisors that succeeded? You know, what are they doing differently? You know, although I couldn't speak Afrikaans, but I mean, I tried. And then, you know, we go for all these conferences and all these awards, and we see someone by the name of Gideon Du Plessis, and I hear his stories, and he sponsored golf day in Tokyo, and well, I need to pay for my car, you know, you sponsoring, and you're an advisor. And then I realized the key when you're in academy is you have to be disciplined, find a focus point, and use the successful people to tell your own story. That's what drove me. So like everyone who starts, they need to be driven by something. Yeah.
Of course. Perfect.
Sorry, if I might, Tasneem, I also want to add, I think some of the, you know, we talk about all the good things about being in the financial space, but the reality is also that it's not easy. I think that's something that also needs to be emphasized, that it is tough. There are times when days are not going to be great. So disciplines are what is required, you know, pushing through those difficult days and those hard times where perhaps you didn't hit your target, you know. Those are often the reasons why people don't survive in this game, because it's not easy and it's not rosy. So if you have the stamina to endure all of that, there's no option but for you to make a success.
And as Bianca said, for a female, it's a little bit different. You know, we need to get up earlier to do our hair, our makeup, our nails, and make sure that we all. The important thing is that we get up, we get dressed, and we show up. And the relevance to our clients, where we are visible and available to them at all times. I think that is my advice to anyone that's entering this industry.
Like Enrico mentioned as well, there is going to be stumbling blocks, but what you do with those stumbling blocks will determine your journey. If you're going to build a wall and look against it and maybe say, okay, you know what, this is not for me. I haven't even tried. So use those stumbling blocks to get over the next stumbling blocks and actually be successful and make a change in the lives of your clients.
Yeah, and you know, this one last thing. When I was in academy, someone said something to me, and they said, don't only focus on building a legacy for your clients. Where's your legacy? You cannot give advice if you haven't built your own legacy. So start building your legacy, which will motivate you to build someone else's legacy.
And just to add to that, Craig, you know, we have our matured advisors, and I've got 2 of them in my team as well. One of them reached the age of 55, but she was nowhere close to retiring. You know, she had an option to, you know, make sure that she leaves her practice to another successful advisor that can take over from her. But she said, I'm nowhere close to giving up and stop working. I would like to continue. So, you know, she has an opportunity to do that. And I've got another advisor that's now past the age of 64 already. And he just said, you know what, I care for my advisors and what I've built. So I would like to stay on and continue as a mandated agent. And while you are still young, it doesn't mean that, you know, you can't leave a legacy. You have to make sure that you have a succession plan in place for yourself, because anything can happen to you. It doesn't matter what your age is. You know, we live that every day. Yes.
Yeah, you know, and then that's a great step, because you start in academy. You become an established advisor, and once you become an established advisor, you know, there's no such thing as I'm going to retire now and I'm going to sit at home. You know, it's one of the only jobs in the world basically where you can continue working. You know, because you've built a great relationship with your clients, and they're still alive. So you want to continue being an active pensioner, and you want to continue working, continue servicing. I mean, I will always be working regardless of whatever age I am. And that's one of the great opportunities we have as being a financial advisor.
So thank you for sharing your stories today with us. We have come to the end of our session. Thank you for joining us. If you'd like to know how to apply, I would hand over to Fika to explain.
Thanks, Tasneem. In order to apply, all you have to do is scan the QR code on screen or click on the link in the chat, and it will take you through to our career portal, and you may easily apply.
We are looking forward to seeing you in Sun City
With us
next year.